welcome back to my channel. My name is Corin, also known as the Kitten Choreographer, and I am a teen with a passion for animal rescue and, in particular, kitten rescue. So, today's video is a really exciting one because this is the video to celebrate my 2-year foster anniversary. So I think the official anniversary was a few days ago, but we're celebrating it now because that's just how it worked out. So I honestly cannot believe that I've been fostering for 2 whole years. Like, I've had foster kittens in my home for 2 years with pretty minimal breaks. This journey has not really just been a journey to fostering kittens. This journey has been a journey to finding myself. I started fostering kittens shortly after I dropped out of public high school in 9th grade, and I was really lost. My mental health was really bad. I dropped out of school because of social anxiety, and it was just really hard. And then COVID hit. I actually got my first foster placement in February 2020, which was right before the pandemic started. And it was really hard. Even though I wasn't going to school daily, it was still hard knowing that I couldn't go out and see anybody. And it was just a tough time. But kittens really got me through that. Having foster kittens was one of the best things that could have happened to me at that time because I had some little buddies with me. I had some really cute kittens just running around, playing, being cuddling with me, and it was really just a big mood booster during that time. It really helped me get through, and though my mental health was still rocky because I do have some diagnosed disorders, I really started to get through it. So many things have happened besides just foster kittens over the past 2 years. I've figured out who I am. Just so much has changed about me. Anyways, now I'm just going to do a bit of a Q&A today. I don't really know how to sum up my thoughts that I have for fostering for 2 years. It still feels kind of surreal, even though it's not. It is real, and that's still kind of hard to wrap my brain around. So I don't really know how to formulate my thoughts without questions. So we're gonna go into a bit of a Q&A, and I just want to say thank you to the people that submitted questions. I will admit, as a smaller channel, I do have some trouble sometimes getting enough questions to do videos like this, do Q&As, but I still love doing Q&As, so it means so much to the people that submit questions for my Q&As. Forgot my train of thought there, but let's go right into the questions. If you see me, I will be looking at my phone because that's where I have the questions saved. And if you want to participate in future Q&As, I ask the questions on Instagram, usually. My Instagram is @thekittenchoreographer, and it is linked in the description below. I should hopefully be popping these up on the screen, so I'll scoot over a bit. So the first question is, what are the best and worst / hardest parts of fostering? So I will just give kind of a shortened version about this for now because I could come up with an entire list, but then we'd be here all day. So the best parts are definitely just seeing the kittens grow up. Just seeing them go from potentially sick, tiny kittens, fragile kittens, to these big, bright, playful, cuddly, sweet, big kittens, and then seeing them go to their forever homes. A lot of people are worried about it and think it's kind of a bad part because you never get to see your kittens again most of the time, but I think it's one of the best times. It's a time where I give myself a pat on the back and say, you did it, like, look at those kittens that are now going to be happy for the rest of their lives. And I absolutely love interacting with adopters, seeing them get their kittens and love them. I love getting adoption updates, pictures of them in their new home with their new cat friends. It's so special. Like, it makes me tear up just thinking about all the kittens that are now, you know, out living their best lives and not out there. And that's just so special. And of course, I also just love the kitten cuddles. The kitten cuddles and the kitten purrs are absolutely amazing too. And then the worst / hardest parts of fostering have got to be just watching my kittens struggle. If they're sick, if they're injured, if they have a problem, watching them struggle, and sometimes, unfortunately, they do pass away. That is the hardest thing. It's just so hard to watch these babies who I love so much. Even though they eventually go to a new home, I still love them so much while they're with me, and even after, I still love them. That's the hardest part, just seeing them struggle and sometimes pass away. Yeah, that's definitely the hardest part. But let's move on to not something as sad. And this question is, how many babies do you often have at one time? So my answer now and for the upcoming year is a little different from what I might have said in the past. And I'm not really going to look at this as like the exact number of kittens, but more as like amount of litters or amount of little groups of kittens. In the past, I've really overloaded myself with the amount of kittens that I've had. I've taken on way too many and just become so stressed, and it's not a good look to overload yourself and burn yourself out. It's not good. So I'm definitely kind of reeling it back a bit on how many kittens I'm gonna have, because I'm gonna take on the amount that is healthy for me, not the most amount of kittens I theoretically could. Because just because you can take a certain amount of kittens does not mean you should. Because even though you might have the physical space in your house, that does not mean you have the mental space. And in the past, I have overfilled my mental space, which is not good. I say this year I'm going to take on no more than 2 groups of kittens at a time. That will probably be a young litter and a big litter. In here, I will have a bigger litter, like Sweet Pea here. And when I say like one group or one litter, those kittens don't necessarily have to be related, but just around the same age, sharing the same space is a group or litter in my mind. So like Dolly and Sweet Pea right now, they aren't technically related, but I would consider them one litter. And then I might have a neonate, one that's in the incubator, and that would be like Oliver out there, who I introduced in one of my last videos. And that's like 2 separate groups, but I don't really want to have any more than that because that's just going a little overboard for my mental health. So I would say I would try and keep it at like 5 or 6 kittens max, split into the 2 groups. I mean, I might go a little bit over that if we have a couple bigger groups, but I really want their ages to be quite far apart so I don't have to worry about spacing issues or anything. So this next question is, how can you tell when a pair of kitties is truly bonded versus you're just anthropomorphizing? This one's kind of hard to answer in that a lot of kittens cuddle together. That is just a standard kitten behavior. They like to cuddle with each other. They like the warmth, they like it. So just because kittens cuddle does not always mean they're bonded, but I would always lean on the side of if you think they're bonded, get them adopted together. And that's if you can, of course. I've leaned on the side of even if I don't know if 2 kittens are truly bonded yet, if they get adopted together, they will usually become bonded. The bond between 2 kittens or 2 cats can take a while to form, but if they are put into an environment together forever, they're going to continue to grow closer. That's just kind of how it works. So if you think 2 kittens are close, try your hardest to get them adopted together. It's good for kittens to be adopted in pairs anyway. So in this case, I don't necessarily know if anthropomorphizing is bad, and I say things wrong, so if I'm saying that wrong, I know what it means. I just say things wrong. Because even if you are a little bit, it's not necessarily like going to harm them. If they're adopted together, they'll just continue to grow closer. What's bad about that? Absolutely nothing. And while kittens can be close without being bonded, it's okay if they're just close and not bonded. Like, cats don't have to be bonded to love each other and to live together, so I don't know if it's even important to tell. If you do really want to tell, just see like how often are those cats spending time together? Are they picking each other to hang out with out of a whole litter, or are they just kind of cuddling with whoever? Do they just like to cuddle, or are they cuddling with a specific kitten? That's something you might want to look at. But again, I don't know if it's the most important to think about. So the next question is, do you plan to foster while in college unless your dorm doesn't allow it? So I do plan and really want to continue fostering through college. I don't think I'll be going to a dorm. It just doesn't really seem like something that would be good for me, and I do have some other options to not need to go to a dorm. I might end up living at home for a little bit. So I might do that, and if I do that, I can definitely still foster. There's a good chance I might stop fostering bottle babies, because college, going to classes, that's a lot of work. I don't know if I'd even have time to bottle feed, and especially don't know if my sleep could handle it with all the other responsibilities that I have. So I would very much prefer to continue fostering, but I don't know if I might have to do older kittens for a while, or just moms with babies or something like that. So the next question is really interesting. Is fostering time consuming? And for that one, I really want to say it depends. I definitely think there should be a certain amount of time put into fostering. You don't want to take on kittens if you don't have time to hang out with them. If you have absolutely no time at all, you should not foster kittens. But if you have some time, it really depends on what type of kittens you're looking to foster. If you're looking to foster bottle babies, newborn orphan kittens, that's a lot of time. You have to feed them every 2 to 3 hours when they're really little, overnight, all that stuff. That is time consuming. However, older kittens aren't necessarily as time consuming. Like, I have 2 8-week-olds here right now. They actually don't take much time. Actually feeding them and changing their litter boxes probably takes about 20 minutes total all day. Like, combining the different feeding times, maybe even less than that. But of course I spend more time with them than that because I play with them. And so really, for older older kittens, the most time-consuming part is playing with them, petting them, cuddling them, and I don't see that as a negative. If you do, maybe you shouldn't actually foster, because why would you? But I would definitely say it depends on what type of kittens you have. So this one is fostering stressful? I would say there definitely is a component that strains your mental health, especially if you're doing the little kittens. You're often working with sick kittens because newborns just get sick very easily. I would say it's pretty much impossible to foster for an extended period of time with little kittens and not get sick kittens. I think sickness is just inevitable in kittens that come from outside and are still working through getting their vaccines and stuff. Having sick kittens can definitely be stressful in some situations. For me personally, I find that the good outweighs the stress and the bad mental health. That is, as long as I'm not burning myself out, so I'm really trying to stick to enjoying fostering this year by not taking on too much. So I do think there is a component of stress. For me, the good outweighs the bad, but that is something you'll have to weigh and think about. So I got another one about my max amount of kittens, but I did already answer that, so I will go ahead and move on past that one. Do you have a favorite foster? Yes, actually, Smee, my cat that I foster failed. He's my favorite, but I think that makes sense because I kept him. Other than that, there might be one I kind of favor in a litter, but I don't really do favorites. Like, all of my kittens are really sweet, so besides the one I kept, I don't necessarily love any of them more than others. There are some that definitely hit me in the heart a little bit more because I might have worked really hard to keep them alive and they got past their struggles, and that really means a lot to me. But I don't necessarily think they're like better kittens or anything. I just, you know, am really proud of the kittens and am so glad that they were able to get through their hard stuff. Oh, this one is least favorite foster. I had to think about that one for a bit because I was about to say like, oh no, I loved all my fosters. And I will say I've never had a foster I hated. I don't really foster ferals, so I don't have any that are mean for the most part, except for one calico that I've had. Her name was Sunny. She was adopted, actually, but I am kind of surprised about that because we did kind of think she might have to be a barn cat. Sunny was mom to my flower kittens, and she was just not a very nice cat. She was very sweet sometimes, but only sometimes. And there was no in between. Like, she did not warn you before turning all crazy calico. I will say calicos are usually very sweet, very nice, a little sassy, but she was like only sass, with a little mean too. She would hiss, she would bite with no warning. She did not get along with any other cats. She even started to hate her babies after weaning, so yeah. I would have to say she's my least favorite, but she wasn't necessarily like a bad cat. I don't think there is any such thing as an evil cat. I think there are socialized cats and there are non-socialized cats. And she did come from outside. I don't know what she went through before that, so that might have something to play into it. The environment in my house is also very stressful for some older cats because there are a lot of cats in my house. I also have dogs. That just means a lot of scents of different animals, and she might have just been a little overwhelmed by that. So this is the least favorite age to foster. This one's kind of hard. I don't dislike any age of fostering. I'm really open to any age of kitten. I'm not doing adult cats right now because adult cats are generally easier, so I will only take an adult if it's a mom with babies. I generally take on the harder ones because it's easier to find placements for older cats. So I don't know if I have a least favorite. The one that is kind of annoying for me is probably teenage kittens. I really like teenage cats, obviously, but there is a point where it's really hard to have like 5 of them in your house at once. It gets kind of overwhelming. Teenage kittens, if they are healthy, are also prime adoption age, like they should be adopted by then. So I kind of just want my kittens to be out before that age just so that I can take on more. But I don't dislike them, it's just like my preference for age of kittens that I like. Teenage kittens are just wild, and having a lot of them is like a zoo. Okay, what's your favorite coat color? Now I will say, I don't think you should go into an adoption wanting a cat purely because of a certain coat color. You should go in with an open mind, you know, see what personality is what really gets you. But that said, you are allowed to have a preference for a coat color. Mine, personally, my absolute favorite is Dilute Calico. Dilute Calicos are just so cute, so amazing. Funnily enough, I don't actually have a Dilute Calico that is mine. Like, my resident cats are black and white, brown tabby, orange and white, and gray tabby. So I don't actually have one. And that's why I said I have pretty much nowadays did not pick because of coat color with my cat Sunstream, my cat Serena, and Smee now. Did not pick because of coat color. And so that's why I don't have a dilute calico, because if I went in going for coat color, I would have gotten a dilute calico. So I don't have a super big preference, but if I had to pick a preference, it would be that. So how is Smee? He's good, he's really good. Smee hasn't had his surgery yet, if you're wondering about that. So this question is, do you plan to do more CH kitties? I will say, I have a very soft spot in my heart for CH kitties. I adore CH cats, and I would definitely do more CH kitties if the opportunity presented itself. CH just isn't the most common disability, so I haven't had an opportunity to foster any, but I would definitely be open to it. I love CH cats. So we are on to the very last question. I did not realize that until just now. So this is what are your plans for college or after graduating high school? So my plans, I would love to just be with animals, do animals, never have to work and just be with animals, but I feel like that's a lot of people's dreams, and it's a pretty unrealistic one, you know. In this economy, people have to work to survive. So I do plan on going to college and eventually becoming a therapist for humans, not kittens. So I don't actually plan on working with kittens as my career, but I do plan on fostering them forever, or as long as I am able. I will be 80 and fostering kittens, you mark my words. But yeah, I want to help people. I would love to specialize in LGBTQ people, because that is something that is very near and dear to my heart. As an LGBTQ person, I have found so much help through therapy, and I want to do the same for other people. But yes, that is my plans. I don't really know what to say other than that, so show Dolly one more time because she is cutie. You're so cute. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked this video, make sure to like it and subscribe for more kitten related content. I upload on Sundays and on Wednesdays if I can, and if I can't, then I upload whenever I want to. Also, please make sure to leave any thoughts or questions that you have down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching again, and goodbye!